we have a choice. We can make the game about Phil Cuzzi, or we can lament some other things, like the Phillies being 0 for their last 24 with runners in scoring position, and Ryan Kirkering hitting 2 batters, even though he did get hosed on a couple of pitches. I will say this about the umpire. First of all, he missed about 5 pitches for the Giants as well. He had a bad night. He missed about 20 pitches. That's inconceivable. But when he misses pitches late in the game for the Phillies, there is no way that the umpire should not come out and talk to him about it. Now, and here's the reason. It's not, you can't look at it like, well, Rob Thomson never does that. There's a point in time when a manager, no matter what his personality is, has to back his players. It's not enough to hear Caleb Cotham yell from the dugout that he missed pitches. The manager has to come out and really make a stern statement. And if he gets tossed, he gets tossed. It's not that big of a deal in the 8th inning that the manager gets tossed. In fact, it's never that big of a deal when a manager gets tossed, in my opinion. But you've got to show your players who are out there going, oh, man, this guy, if I argue, he's going to toss me. So I got to walk away. I got to sit there and take it. But the manager doesn't have to take it. The manager has to come out and let his players know that he's behind them on those pitches. And I just don't understand Rob Thomson sometimes. Like, it's not acceptable enough to just stay in the dugout and yell. When you're getting hosed that bad, and again, he was bad for both teams, and I don't want to make this about the umpire's bad calls when the Phillies aren't hitting with runners in scoring position, but the manager has to do more than he did last night. It's simple. Ray, are you down with that?
Why does he have to do more than he did last night?
Because he's got to back his player. His players want allies at that spot. They're getting hosed. If you're in the batter's box, it's bad enough that you're trying to survive in the batter's box, trying to get a hit. It's a hard freaking thing. When the umpire's got it, he decreases the odds for you to get a hit. That's a bad thing. And the manager has to have his players back. I feel you, and I'm going to come out. I'm going to give that guy a piece of my mind. And it may not help, but it just shows the player that the manager has their back. That's why it's important.
But, Mike, when you say you don't believe it had that big of a bearing on the game, whether it be him getting ejected or
it may
you
have
said
had a big bearing on the game. Like those pitches, when they were runners in scoring position, that maybe is a pitch that they stay off of because they can't put it in play. And that messes up their runners in scoring position.
To be clear, I think the Harper at bat there where he misses 2 are egregious and did have an impact on the game because it impacts how your best hitter or, in theory, your best player is approaching that at bat. He's down 2 strikes immediately. That's 2 brutal misses for you. I'm not saying that it did impact the game. I'm questioning, though, you say that you think on both sides last night Phil Cuzzi was missing calls.
Yeah, but he missed more Phillies calls than Giants calls.
But if you're sitting there as Rob Thomson with that thought in your head, are you showing him up?
Yes, because an umpire has to be showing up sometimes. Because the umpire, when a player doesn't like a call, the umpire sloughs it off. He doesn't give an F about a player complaining. When a manager like Rob Thomson will come out and give him a peace of mind, Cuzzi starts to think about that. And the people who supervise Cuzzi start to think about that. And it's all about a part of their evaluation on who they're going to trust for playoff umpires. It's a whole process. But Rob Thomson is a guy that doesn't complain a lot. If he complains in that situation, he makes it a special complaint that the league has to look at. And you're backing your player. It's comforting to a player to know their manager has their back in that kind of a situation when they're trying to survive in a batter's box.
I think it became pretty clear that they were complaining in the dugout.
It does. That's not enough. It's not enough. You got to come out and you got to show him up to put the world on notice about his bad performance, just like anything else.
And that does...
I just told you what it does. It makes your players believe in you more, that you've got their back. It makes the league focus a little more. That a guy like Rob Thomson is so upset that he would come out and complain about it.
Okay, but if every time this happens, because this has been multiple times this season where people are like, that is where he has to be the rallying point. He has to get out there. If he does it every time,
I'm saying he has to do it every time. The guy missed 20 pitches last night. 20.
the guy was brutal. But I've said this before about Rob Thomson.
When you're brutal, you got to be called on it. When you're marginally brutal, maybe you don't.
I've said this before about the guy. Everyone expects a firecracker out of a candle with him. He's just not that guy. That's not who he is.
I'm not expecting a firecracker out of a candle. I'm expecting for him to back his players in an overly egregious situation by coming out and making a statement. And if you get thrown out, that player at the end of the night goes, he had my back. I appreciate that. That's baseball. That's what, like, the confidence that you set out in the clubhouse when guys want to play for you is because of those little moments when a manager shows confidence in you enough to have your back.
I understand what you're saying about this. I understand. In that moment, we've had this conversation before about Thomson. The way I would react to things is, I think, different than the way he would react to things. Because if that's happening to me in a game,
I get it.
I'm doing it.
I get it. But Rob Thomson doesn't have to do it every single time. I know what he is. I know what his personality is. And for the most part, I like it. But in a situation like that last night, where your players are suffering at the hands of a bad umpire, you've got to make a full-blown discovery about it. That's all I'm saying. Now, not every situation is the same. That situation last night called for it.
And I'm just curious on your part, because you think this is so much of the guys are going to see him standing up for him, and it means something to them.
It does.
They have an expectation of what Rob Thomson is at this point. Do you think anyone in that clubhouse is surprised when this doesn't happen?
Yes, I think it was. They're surprised that he didn't do it last night, and I think it hurts. I think it hurt. But the fact that guy was so egregious and the manager didn't come out, I think, makes them have a little bit of a lack of confidence in their manager.
You think so?
I really do.
You think at this point?
I really do. In that situation last night, absolutely.
How many games are we into the Rob Thomson experience? Like, at some point, are those players just wrong for expecting something different?
But, Ray, this is like an all-timer. Again, every situation is different. Every situation does not call for a manager to make that much of a statement. Last night, it did. And you have to let that thought linger. And now, tonight, because that guy was so bad, and every umpire on the field knows that was so bad, then maybe they get the benefit of the doubt tonight. It's all about sending a message for the next game. Okay,
but you also, in this open, have mentioned the fact that you don't think that was the driving force of them losing.
I don't want to make this about him. This is a sub part of the game. The fact that they're not hitting in scoring position may have been influenced by some bad calls, but still, they're 0 for their last 24. They're not putting the ball in play with runners in scoring position. That's the major focus. Now, I'm going to give you another major focus. I'm going to give you a major focus that the first baseman right now can't play. This guy, this is my biggest worry. You can talk about the bullpen, you can talk about left field. Right now, my biggest worry and my Phillies' biggest problem is that Bryce Harper is not well enough to be effective. And I don't know if that's going to change. He's got one extra base hit in the last 45 days. He has struck out 9 times in the last 21 plate appearances. And I don't want to hear the manager say he's just off balance. He's got a problem with his wrist that I think is influencing his brain and his confidence to hit a baseball. That's a major problem. 0 for 24 is a major problem. And Phil frickin' Cuzzi was a major problem last night that Rob Thomson should have done something about. There you go. There are my 3 problems with the Phillies last night.
Other than that, how was your night?
Other than that, it was fantastic. As I stayed up till 12 midnight to watch that damn game.
You know what we get to do again tonight?
Watch it again with Taiwan Walker. Stay up till 1 o'clock tonight. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
All right, 610-632-0975. Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't have opinions on this. And again, the Phillies did not lose because Phil Cuzzi sucked. But during the course of a loss, there was a statement that needed to be made last night by the manager that would have really helped the confidence level in his players, in my opinion. Or as the kids say, IMO. 610-632-0975. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. Back after this.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out our video. If you want more from the Mike Missanelli Show, somewhere on this screen, there is somewhere where you can hit the playlist. Keep interacting with us.